Yes. And then now the aspect of being a Christian in that kind of environment, a secular world, and it's not Christians you're working with, they are different people. How does that translate in your workplace now?
Yeah, I must say at the initial stage, when I got into the international education space, it was a bit of a struggle and a battle in terms of how I would balance the two. Because the Bible talks about us being the salt and the light. So wherever I'm going, I should be the salt, and should be the light. But also the cultural sensitivity issues around that, because then there is the values that we're supposed to demonstrate even as we engage our clientele. Because one, these are your clientele. It's learners, institutions, teachers. So it was a bit of a struggle in the initial stage. And so one of the things that I came to, I sought God's wisdom in terms of how do I operate.
You're like Daniel in Babylon.
Yes. I mean, you've trusted God for a job. He's given you a job. He's opened this door. It's a fantastic opportunity. But then you can't operate in a vacuum. You have to operate in a space where there are different people, different beliefs.
I don't believe the same way.
Don't believe the same way. And one of the things that I've avoided doing is to confront. Like, going before people and saying, okay, now, this is it, take it or leave it. But I think God, over the time, has given me wisdom. One of the things that has helped me a lot is lifestyle. Is lifestyle evangelism.
So people look at you and see there's something different with this person, the way they conduct themselves, interact with us, there's something different. That's better.
It's better, yes. So one would want to find what is that software
you're running on,
that I'm running on, because it's on our own as Christians we can't make it. So we rely totally on God, and even with my wife every morning we pray as I go to work, because the people you meet are different, the challenges you meet are different. But I think that lifestyle evangelism has played a key part, and that has led into conversations on the side with people. Someone will come and ask, what is this that drives you? Looking at your lifestyle and all that, and that has always presented an opportunity for ministry. And because integrity is a key part of my work as well. And so that has, as a Christian, one of the things, because we are called to be good stewards, one of time, and the opportunities that God has given us. Integrity is a key part of what I do. And so, one, I've made sure that in every space that I am in, either as I'm engaging the various stakeholders, I display that.
So integrity key
is very key, but also not shying away from them knowing that I'm a Christian. So one of the things that I've also made sure I do.
So it's not like they don't know you're a Christian. If you're given an opportunity to introduce yourself,
yes,
you introduce yourself as a
Christian. Yes. Okay. So I don't shy away from what I believe in. So that's one. Because a lot of the times one would want to play safe, so that they can figure it out for themselves. and so there's a thin line in the process of not wanting to step on toes. Actually, you can find yourself compromising or being ashamed of the gospel. And so it's important just for them to know who you are and what you believe in, but not pushing it down.
So you're not on people's faces.
I'm not on people's faces to say now you
need to be saved. You're sinners.
Yes. So I share my belief. They would also share what they believe in, and sometimes I would ask. Lead to discussions, and for me that's usually an opportunity for ministry. Yes. So the two things that have stood out for me is one, being able to confess that you are you're a Christian, you're a child of God. 2, your life,
The way you live your life.
you live your life demonstrating that you actually
So there's the confession part, then there is the fruit part.
the fruit part.
There's produce. Actually, there's something that says this person, whatever they claim, there is evidence for that one.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And there's been always opportunities that tests your faith
Yeah.
in the workplace.
So those have to come.
Those have to come. I mean, you're in an environment where you, one, working with institutions, and 2, temptations come your way in terms of that actually test your integrity. I've been in situations like that.
So you go to a school and
Yeah, I mean, there are instances where you walk into an institution because there's a criteria that has been set to meet certain requirements
Before-
for one to be approved as an institution. all
so
right?
there is a process for
So there's a
somebody
process
to
for that. And so you'd walk in an institution and clearly you'd see that this institution probably doesn't meet
meet those criteria.
criteria. And so there are instances where one would want you to compromise on those requirements
So that you
so
just
that you just endorse
them and
yes,
say, yeah, they've
endorse them, say,
qualified that they've
you've
not
qualified, please proceed. So, and
and then
because
they have something, they have a reward for you.
they have a reward for you in quotes, we want to appreciate. You, luckily, within our organization, we have that gifts and hospitality policy. So wherever an institution entertains you or appreciates you, there's a process of declaring
What was done to you.
what was done to you, which also is not an easy part in our setup, because then we're in an African setup. So not all appreciations are bad, but the instances
Some
where
that are
they just want to,
intentions.
they just have good intentions. They don't want to appreciate you, but we are called to
You have to
declare that.
I went to this institution
Sure.
and I was given this.
I was given fare back,
Oh, I was given fuel.
fuel. It was this much, and you need to declare that, and that is expected. And so there's always that intention: do I need to declare or not? Do I need to take or not? There's always going
Now
to
that's
be
when
those
your
debates.
Christianity kicks in, where
Kicks in.
now you have to do it because
Yes.
for you are a
So
Christian.
there are
is
a number of
accountability.
instances I've had to decline, politely decline, and say, no, actually, it's my role. I'm facilitated to come to your institution to
So
make
my,
sure
my
it's catered
employer
for. Has catered
has
for.
catered for what you want to do
Yes, and which is not usually very good news
to those people.
to those people. So, so it's always that thin line of making sure that you maintain that integrity. Because usually, when you leave a window, it starts with the small things.
Yeah, by the way.
When today you receive 1,000 shillings as an appreciation,
Even that one will cause you to think differently about
Differently.
these people.
yes. And so it begins with those things, and they can grow. Because when you pick 1,000 shillings today, when they approach you with 10, 20 next time, you want to have the moral, you won't say no. You're like, if you took if that was the case last time,
Why did you say no?
why not this time? And so there's always been those instances where your faith
Has been tested.
has been tested. And even outside work, I think I remember instances where, though related, where I've been stopped by the police on my way to work. It's a traffic offense, and you're actually going into a meeting.
You're getting late.
You're getting late. And so the easiest thing is to sort out.
Brave them and then
Bribe
move
them,
on.
and they go. I've lost count in the number of times I've had to go to court. And this is where I have to call my boss and say, I won't be able to send an apology. I won't be able to make it. It's because I'm handling this case and request for leave to go to an appeal in court. And that's usually a very difficult conversation
Yes,
to have. You're asking for leave to appear in court while you would have just
Sorted it.
sorted it
200 Baba,
200 bob and that's it. And God has been faithful. God has been faithful and has vindicated me in a number of those instances. I think twice I've gone to court and I've been acquitted. And my my bail refunded back to me. Just trusting God in those things, and God has been.
So it was basically a test, and most of the time people fail at that point of the test where can you really still maintain your Christianity when it looks inconvenient? What you're most inconvenienced by your Christianity?
Yes.
Can you still be a Christian? And if you just pass that one, then the devil looks like this one is serious with this thing, so it lets you go.
Yes, it's been real. Traffic issues during work. When you're working with institutions on standards and having to look the other way. We also manage examinations as well, and that can also be another highway for compromise. And so you face various battles, and it is in those moments. It's in those moments that I've had conversations with people on the side, like asking me, why are you going through this trouble? What is it that is making you to still want to stick on this? So every opportunity or any trial that I've gone through, and thanks be to God, it's not. Sometimes I've had moments where I battle. Do I not? Why do I
so
not?
the war is real. That
the war is real. So it's not like that Superman and
for you,
yeah.
Kuna mahali unaona leo
let me try. But God has always been my help in those times.
So it's the point where you realize actually it's not even about these people, it's about God.
It's about God.
I'm wronging God by compromising down here.
So when I go before God, would I be able to be confident enough, and would God be happy about what I've done in this scenario? And so that has helped me. And what I wanted to say is that it has always provided an opportunity to minister to someone.
Okay. So this what we think are side shows, distractions, actually is God presenting a ministry opportunity.
Yes, there's always that one person watching and will come back and ask, wow, you're different. So what is this that makes you different?
Because I remember I was once also stopped by the policeman, and then I told them I'm a church person, and then they were like, nyinyi watu kanisa kwanza ndio tunapendanga sana.
Yes.
Ampendi shida sana.
Ampendi shida, yes.
Bishop ngapi wamepita hapa tumechukua pesa yao.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, and you see, the law allows you to choose. Usually, I've learned so many things in that process. The law allows you to choose the date you want to appear in court. So they'll ask you, when do you want to come? So then I look at my calendar quickly, look at a gap, then book a date. And what I've learned in that process is, when I go wrong, when I do something wrong, it's a traffic offense, I begin by apologizing.
Yeah, I've done.
And yes, and the instances where I've actually been let go just by apologizing. I've actually apologized to a policeman, and they've let me go. But usually there are times when now we feel we know everything. Arrogance crops in. So I've not let arrogance crop in that process. So that's one thing I've learned. So if I'm wrong, yes, I will
accept you. For example, you're driving and you didn't see the 50. Do not go beyond 50 kilometers per hour. You didn't see it, and then you are told, but you for that, yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And you actually truly know that was
you did, yeah.
And the instances where then, even before court, just like our God is just, they usually give an opportunity for you to, apologize, ask for, and whenever I'm given that opportunity, because that actually reduces your charge if there was a. But at times you want to fight it and say, I didn't do it, there's no evidence. When I've made a mistake, even before court, they usually give an opportunity to sort of say, give your view. And I've always apologized. and the instance I've just been told, it's fine, you're forgiven.
Go.
Yeah.
You're given your
Yeah. So I've learned to ask for forgiveness when I'm wrong, even though there are those situations where then I'm tempted on issues of bribery. But when I'm wrong, I ask for forgiveness. But God has been faithful.
Good. As we end up now, the young people who are planning to get into the workplace and they're still believers, they're strong, you know, they are in college and they see you, they are feeling the strength. So the temptation are not that many.
Yes.
So when they transition to the workplace, what is your advice that you can give them? Most of them actually, they want to work in church institutions or parachurch institutions.
Yes.
How can you advise that kind of person? How can you give them heads up before they get in there?
Yeah, I mean, for the young people transitioning into the workplace, the things that I can urge them to focus on, one, if you're getting into a workplace, one of the things that has helped is seeking mentorship.
Somebody to work with.
Somebody to work with, and especially someone who has been in that space.
So if it's somebody, let's even use the police. There are young people who are Christians who want to go into the police. Service.
Yes.
So you need to find a Christian policeman
Who can work with you there.
who knows what is what the issues are in that particular.
Exactly. What are the real issues? Because most of the times people get into the workplace and there's no one else to guide you other than the one that you've been allocated to. Your superior, or but then sometimes you might not be on the same page in terms of your faith and Christian values. And so what it means is they're likely to hugely borrow from them. So one of the things I've learned is just that aspect of seeking mentorship in your workplace. So it could be someone within your workplace or someone outside of your workplace. So that as you're navigating into the place of work, what are some of the things that one should be aware of? Another key thing is success, grades will open doors for you.
So success
For
in
sure.
the academic world,
In the academic world,
talent,
your talent, your CV
will open doors for you.
will open doors for you. But it is character that will keep you there.
Yes. So you can rise to the top quickly.
Yes.
But for you to remain there,
Yes.
you need to have character.
But it is character that will
up
keep you there. But who shapes that character?
Is there a better person
It's
than
God.
Jesus? Yeah.
It is God who, on a daily basis, works in us shaping the character. Because I've seen successful people climb up the ladder, but because of the simple things of character. They've either lost those opportunities, they've either had their social networks, dynamics,
Even
families suffer. It's the simple things. So, in as much as then you are a Christian, if we, because we've also seen instances where one is a Christian, but there's certain character that they don't have that won't keep them in the place of work. So they assume that because then I'm a Christian, there's certain things that will just
Fix themselves.
There are specific things that you still need as a Christian, and it is only God that helps you to shape.
So, for example, hard work. You know,
It's just example hard work. And believe you me, in my current role, my closest boss is countries and countries away. My closest boss is in South Africa, and I'm here in Kenya.
that's the person you're supposed to report to.
Report to. So I work remotely.
There's no supervision.
Yes, so there's no supervision. So I have all the time to do anything else.
To abuse that opportunity you
It's
have.
very
at the
easy.
time.
So then self-discipline helps, has been part of what helps me to grow in my workplace.
Yeah.
Because then they don't know where you stay.
They can't look for
They
you.
can't look for you.
There's no one to send
Yes,
around.
but there's
to come and
situations
ask.
where there are people who need to be followed, monitored, micromanaged to be able to do their work. Remember, we are increasingly moving to that remote working environment. And so one of the key critical things will be self-discipline.
Yeah.
And if I know that the job that I've been given that opportunity by God, and God expects me to demonstrate certain values in that place, then I will do that job differently.
Yeah.
And so character
It's very, very
is very crucial, but it is most importantly shaped by God. Yeah,
So you can say you want to form a character away from God.
exactly.
It has to be
It has to be God
working in you.
working in you. There are instances where I've had difficult decisions to make.
Like firing somebody.
Yes, difficult decisions. You receive an email, you are struggling on how to answer it. This is where I've just paused. Just
Right.
take a few minutes to ask God for wisdom.
Yeah.
And He'll tell me, okay, leave it for a day. In the course of the day, you
Find the solution.
find a solution how to answer that as well.
That's like Ezekiel. You remember Ezekiel getting the letter?
Yes.
And then he's reading it and he's taking to God and say, you see, God, this is what they've written to us.
Exactly.
And then he gets a solution from God for that. Yeah. Okay.
And the Bible is full of characters that we can emulate.
Who is your favorite, by the way?
There are quite a number of characters that are favorite, but I think for me, Paul,
Brother Paul.
Brother Paul is one of those, and it's an encouragement, particularly when how he's transformed from that person who used to, persecute the children of God, and now turning out to be the one that is championing that. One thing of the things that I admire is how brave.
Yeah. The
He
boldness.
is, the boldness. And for me, even in my place of work, that boldness, being able to be clear about the things,
The faith.
So Paul, to a larger extent, encourages me in that, and knowing that you have God's backing.
Yeah. You're not on your own.
Yes. The story of, Nehemiah as well.
And the wall.
And the wall, building the wall, and even though it was being ridiculed, but he later, I think is in chapter 2, verse 19, 20, where he actually believes that this project of building the wall will succeed because God is with him. And so he gets his confidence from the fact
God.
that
God is in this.
God is in this. And because he consulted God from the beginning, and God laid that burden in his heart. Then for me, if I know that I have the backing of God, then I should not be afraid. So Paul, is the fact that he's very brave, and also Nehemiah. Those are some of the characters that stand out for me. Yes.
Hi. That was awesome. It was very, very good. I think it will benefit many, many people out there. Any final parting shot before we close?
Yeah, I mean, it's one. This has been an opportunity just to share, and especially in the place of work. And I just want to believe that it's been an encouragement to anyone out there watching this. God has your back. God calls us to be the light and the salt of this earth. And He will place us in places that one would at times find uncomfortable, out of our comfort zone. I've just shared my story this morning. But when you seek God for direction and wisdom, there isn't anything that He presents your way that you can't handle.
Yeah. He's with you also. He's
He's
given
with you.
you the resources that you need.
Yes. So it's our impact. God has called us for a reason. And He's called us to be fruitful. And we can only be fruitful in the places. Sometimes we desire that we have a world that is, understands us so quickly, understands this God, and understands what we believe in. That will be very easy. But in the world that we operate in, there's always going to be challenges that exist, different beliefs. But God has given us the tools that we need to be fruitful in this world. My encouragement is that we move from being nominal
Christians.
But to be fruitful
Yeah.
Christians. And through God, He'll enable us to do so.
that.
Be it in your workplace, be it at home,
Yeah.
wherever He has placed you, wherever He has called you, He has called you there for a reason and a purpose.
Amen. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time. And as you've heard, actually, the workplace you are in, the estate you live in, the family you are in, is not just by coincidence. Actually, it's God who's placed you there because He has plans for those people. And sometimes we wonder, has God done anything in my school concerning salvation in Him? But actually, He has sent you there to be that salt and that light, to be the light that will shine brightest where it's darkest. And that's how God has made great leaders in this world. You look at somebody like Daniel, he was in Babylon, Joseph was in Egypt, Nehemiah had to do things that required a person who had been prepared for that particular task. You too, you've been prepared for a task, and that task is already on your table. God has given you a pulpit, it's your workplace. Thank you, Sana, Mr. Marvin, and your family. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Goodbye.